courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Rollins.
Welcome to Veterans Issues. Ken Rollins here, and today's guest is none other than Eli Henderson, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Get a pen, be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Today's show is brought to you by Hyundai and Superior Hyundai, and my guest is Eli Henderson. He's the District 3 Calhoun County Commissioner, and he's been there before, and we're going to talk about a lot of things. Welcome back, Eli.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me out here.
Yeah, I got thinking. I said I hadn't had no Eli in a while, and we involved in so many things. But over the years, what term is this? You was in for several years, and then you got out as a circuit court.
This will be my seventh term as county commissioner.
All right, and then you was at a term as a circuit court clerk.
Yes.
Okay, and which one you like best? They both had the challenges, didn't they?
Well, it did, but I like being a county commissioner because you and I can work together then. We can make some things happen. We can make things happen for veterans. We can make things happen for people that can't help themselves in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I was watching it during the election. The people that would get frustrated about road building and things like that, and they really, I really want to jump in there and say something. Y'all really don't know what you're talking about, because it doesn't make them bad people. They just don't know how it works. They don't know. I remember you telling me that in your district, you have enough asphalt to pave that would run all the way to Panama City. Is that what you told me?
Well, what I've got is I've got enough roads in my district. I've got 318 miles of roads in my district, which would be about the equivalent of driving from Anderson to Panama City. 318 miles.
Absolutely, and that's just, and you don't have a whole lot of money. The cup don't run it over. And,
well, we've done some things through the years that cured a lot of that. We finally got a commission that's got a 2-cent sales tax that applies outside the police jurisdiction. Well, it actually includes the police jurisdiction and outside the police jurisdiction. And that creates about $3.5–4 million a year that we get now that we didn't get before.
Yeah. Well, when you have things that hit the county commission in big bulk, like of tornadoes and stuff like that, it really puts a crunch on everything, not just the roads and stuff. And you came into office in your first term as a commissioner, and back then they were called road commissioners. And you decided that you wanted to take a step out the box and try something else. So you started building parks and things that were a benefit to kids and the families that could go to and have picnics and things like that. I watched you do that, and that was just unheard of for anyone to do. Now I've seen also, not naming any name, but you got a lot of other commissioners doing that in their districts, and it works. It's a great thing. It gives you give people ownership in the community.
We call that quality of life.
Yeah.
When I was a kid growing up in Welborn, I've got 17 brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir.
You remember?
Yeah.
There's 19 of us. If I'd had plenty to eat when I was a kid, I'd be big like you.
Yeah, I know it.
But we never had a place to play ball. And I said, if I ever get elected, we'd build a park in Welborn where the kids could go play ball. And we did that.
Sure did. And that reminded me of something. You know, people don't have any idea what it was like to be poor. And I'd say I came from a family with 7 kids, and my daddy had died, and Mama had to raise us on Social Security. We had to pick cotton, pull corn, whatever. And it just scrambled. You just get your hand hurt at the table trying to grab that last biscuit, you know. and I remember you talking about, God, what it was like. There was a story ran every year in the Anderson Star about the Salvation Army. But it's a true story.
That is a true story.
There's, what would you have done back then, you know? Now you're on the other side of something called Toys for Tots. you're a part of that Operation Toys for Tots. And tell me about how that feels, being able to do that.
Well, the Salvation Army, who did a good job back in the old days, they're about out of that business. So we're the only other group in town that tries to address kids that won't have a Christmas without somebody getting involved.
Now, kids make a list of what they want, and you'll see a 12-year-old girl wants a bicycle, wants a video game, whatever, some socks and whatever, size such and such pant. The Marine Corps League shops for that person, and they will have their. I've watched it happen too many times.
You've been a part of this.
Yeah, but it's a hard. I think what I'm saying is you was on the receiving end when you was growing up with the Salvation Army. People that just hand out. This is not just handed out used stuff. This is brand new stuff that these kids get.
It's high tech.
Yeah,
High
absolutely.
tech. Well, we've got a lot of good guys, and in fact, we've got a lot of Army guys now that are volunteering their services to the Marine Corps League, and they're getting involved, and they really help a lot. They help distribute the toys, get the list together for toys, and in fact, right now we need a building. If somebody out there has got a building,
Y'all listen?
if you got a building with about 5,000 square foot, we could use that building right now for about 3 months, October, November, December, and you can take it off your income tax.
Absolutely.
But we need a building to put our Toys for Tots in.
Yeah. So if you're renting a building for $2,000 a month, you can get $6,000 off your taxes.
That's exactly right.
By yeah, that's a smart move on somebody's part if y'all paying attention to it.
Right, and we really need it. We desperately need a building because next month we'll start gathering up toys, and we need a place to store these toys.
It'd be nice if they had a good little parking lot too, get to it where you could get
It would be.
access it easy.
It would be.
But all the guys in the Marine Corps League down there working and sorting, and little girls, young girls, children of the Marine Corps League, all of them working. Just behind the scene, nobody ever sees them, and they don't get the credit. But the toys just show up, and it's a Santa Claus type thing. But I know who the Santa Clauses are.
A lot of hard work is involved, and in fact, you've helped us a lot, Ken, by promoting what we're doing.
Well, when they go out there and see, when they'll be putting them out there?
Not yet, I don't. David Grice is our chairman.
Yeah,
in charge of
he'll
that.
let me know. But
He'll
when
let
they
you know.
start doing that, look for Marine Corps League, Marine Corps, the proper ones, because there's 2 or 3 doing under Toys for Tots.
Right.
And there's not the Marine doing some of them.
Well, we've got the Talladega County also now, so it's a lot more involved than what it once was.
I know we had an officer, the boy had come down with a bad disease and everything, and I told him, I said, we need to get him some toys and stuff, and he declined. He didn't want too many toys because he'd had a bunch of them, but they loaded him up with some toys, and that boy to this day, that he ain't let me forget that. He's a great officer for Oxford, and he just be sure and let them Marine Corps League know how much he appreciated, at the time if he's facing like leukemia or something like that, when you got a child there and he had to be at the hospital and back and forth, and then here's Christmas coming up on, the kid don't know, about all this stuff, so did that. Well, we're going to go to a break, come back, we're going to talk more about the Marines and other things. Be right back. Stay there. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. I'm talking with Eli Henderson, my favorite friend and buddy and comrade and all those things. When we were talking, we left talking about the Toys for Tots, but the Marine Corps League the Marine Corps League started the first young Marines in this area, and I was gracious enough, or anyhow, I was given the opportunity to speak to the first group that graduated. And I've watched those kids come and go. Some of them joined the Marines.
Yes, I have.
And what's one little girl in particular, she was a handful for her mama. And her mama didn't know what to do with her. And that happens a lot in the county. And the judges don't know what to do, and the courts don't know what to do. And these little girls and boys, they decide they're just going to be mean, and she had decided she's going to be mean. So her mama put her in there just to see. And I'm going to tell you, she's still in there. That's been several years.
Yes.
One of the sweetest,
I don't know what you're
smartest,
talking about.
the prettiest little blonde-headed girl you ever seen, and she is so respectful, and I have never, ever seen anything out of the way of her other than just pure respect. She is just such a great asset, and the other kids can watch her and build off of that. And I just think that alone, that's a program right there should prove.
Dan Long, your good friend Dan Long got that started, and he has really done an outstanding job.
He has. And see, the Vietnam veterans used to do all the stuff up there, the honor guard and everything. We turned our honor guard over to the Marine Corps League because we had as many people with prostate cancer and other things we couldn't perform. Then we did the fallen comrades ceremony for so many years, 20 years, and we finally got to the point we couldn't field enough people that could do that. They could do it, but not properly, and that's something that is they're so respectful it has to be done. And these kids picked up on it, and they do it much better than we did, and I want to knock them down. I mean, we got there with a belt. But no, they are so good. They are so representative of the group, and it's if you want to see patriotism and stuff, watch them come over and do the national anthem.
They're good. They're really
Stuff like
good.
that. Yeah, not the national anthem, but the Pledge of Allegiance. And I just I'm so proud of them. They came off of the first Marine Corps League, the Alan Ray Chafin Detachment. That's where it came from. Are you still fishing?
Yeah.
Oh, that mercy! I believe you can catch a fish when there ain't no fish in the river, boy. I've never seen anything. I remember it now. You see if you remember this. Back when the Eagles was out on 202, they'd say like on Wednesday or Thursday, we need to have a fish fry Friday night. And say, okay, Eli say, okay, if you got any fish? He said, no, I'll get some. Now you're talking hundreds of fish that you're going to have ready by Friday night, and you're telling them on Wednesday, go ahead and plan your fish fry. There's a lot of planning went into it, other than catching the fish. But you knew that you'd have the fish there, and you always did. They were delivered. Did you have something tied up down there?
Puddle fishing.
Puddle fishing.
Puddle fishing.
People don't. I wish we'd have done that. Out in the middle of a river, you see a puddle. Out in the middle of a highway, I see a puddle. But you're in the middle of the Coosa River and you see a puddle, and you fish in that puddle and catch fish.
Not quite that way, but it's close.
Yeah. Is the puddle caused by debris down there, that water going
Really, a
around?
puddle is closer to the bank, and you catch them out of the puddle close to the bank.
That's where they just get down and hide, where they get something sliding by.
Yeah.
Sneaky thing.
You got to be smarter than the fish.
I know it.
You remember Jim and Margaret Hibbets?
I do.
They used to love those fish fries, didn't they?
Oh my goodness. And I was going to talk to him yesterday, but I'm going to call him today.
Call him.
I was supposed to call him yesterday.
He is our hero.
Oh gosh,
Not
yeah,
your
yeah.
hero.
We got a lot of them. And I'll tell you another, Howard Norton was my hero.
Oh my goodness.
he drove me crazy. And George Smith up the Anniston Star, but he was I miss him. I miss all of them. We went so many food.
I love the fact that he went up to Brandy Ayers' newspaper and took his flag down.
Well, the story of that, I was working at the depot, and Brandy Ayers called me at the depot and says, you tell him to get it down an hour and I won't have him arrested. I had no idea what he was talking about. And I just knew then it had to be Howard, so I called and I talked to Howard. He said, yeah, he did. He took down the American flag and folded it and put it over at the front door of the Anniston Star and raised a Confederate flag in front of the Anniston Star. And he didn't have any qualms about it. It was just something to do. But I could sit here all day and tell you, Howard, just like you could. You got some where you stole your vehicle one time, but
Well, he borrowed it.
yeah. and the Parks and Recreation Director Anniston said Howard owned more chain link fence in the city of Anniston than the Anniston owned. He had run through so much of it. He went down there to one ball game down where South Anniston, South Quintard, and they told him he couldn't park there, so he moved on up. And so they told him he couldn't park there, so he just took off around third base and ran through third base fence, took out across there, dragging all the fence down Quintard. nearly $7,000 worth of fence that he had to pay for it. But that's how.
That is
He
Howard.
said, I'll take me a shortcut right across here. But but anyhow, we were talking about, for the folks out there that are keeping up with Calhoun County, we have a problem with the jail system, and there. It's not an easy fix for anybody. You can't fix it. One other commissioner can't fix it. And until some funds come in, and this from other sources, you can't make tax laws as in a county commission.
We can make no laws, zone no property, raise no taxes.
Yeah, but there's people out there that know that we've got, and they want to weigh in on what the best fix is. And right now, I don't think there is a good fix unless somebody's got a money tree to shake and let the money fall out. But
Well, I promise you we'll have it fixed.
oh, I know you will. I know
If
you
I'll
will.
I don't say I will, we'll fix it.
Yeah, I know this. The county commission's in there right now is the one that's going to do it,
That's right.
not the one that's going to work on it, but the one that's going to fix it.
We will fix it.
Yeah, and it'll probably be better than most of the other counties that's
Probably.
fighting their problem. But as long as we keep locking people up for all kinds of misdemeanor and everything you think of, as long as you keep filling jails up, and the judges don't have a choice, they're required by law to do it. As long as they keep filling them up, they're going to be stacking them too high.
We need to bring back the draft. Bring the draft back. Put them in the military. Solve
Well,
that problem.
See, you're saying that in jest and maybe not so much, but I know that in fact that back in when Vietnam War, that you'd get a replacement for somebody that shipped out. And that replacement was a guy that had walked before a judge, breaking and entering or something like that. The judge says you can go in the military or you can go to jail. Which is going to be? I'll take the military. That's how we got the strength to fight the Vietnam War. A lot of it was.
It was. You're right.
With
You're
people
exactly
like
right.
that. And the only bad thing about that, if a guy was in there for theft, when something became missing in the barracks or whatever, he was the first one you looked at, But that is something that there's all kinds of things that the courts have got to adjust how they sentence people. If they can do less, they need to. Where they can do, the veterans court situation allows the veteran to still take care of his family and all this stuff and get if he stays in the plan over a year,
Right.
everything's washed away. You got no record. So there's all kinds of little tools that you can use out there. But right now there's an emergency and it will be fixed. And I just want the folks out there that's watching to know, Eli, that I've heard enough of the conversation. The other commissioner, once this election thing's over with, they'll go to work on it and get it fixed. We got about 20 seconds. What else got?
Let's talk about the flag.
Flag. If you see a flag flying, you hear the national anthem, you better not take a knee or.
You need to do this.
That's it.
If you can't stand and salute that flag, I don't have any use for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking about what it means to some of us, and I've carried coffins out of Dover, Delaware, covered with a flag. And if you've ever seen a woman clutch a American flag at a funeral, tell me then that it's okay to kneel with it. I thank you, man. We could talk a week on that.
Yeah,
Come
we
back,
could.
let's do that.
Okay.
We got to go to break. Come back. I got news that you can use. Stay where you are. Get the pen. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. I appreciate Eli Henderson coming on doing the show today, and we're going to have him back. We're going to finish up a lot of it. We can get into these national politics and national incidents. I noticed that the Muslims are saying we're going to stop the Merry Christmas stuff here in America, and a lot of them are getting elected into offices. So who knows? We may be fussing and fighting about that before it's over with, but we'll get into that next time. The Firefighters Memorial dedication will be September the 11th up in Centennial Memorial Park, and Governor Ivey, Secretary of State John Merrill, Dale Marsh, and others will be there for that. So I'd like to attend at 11 o'clock on September the 11th up in the park. We're going to unveil the Alabama State Firefighters Memorial. Now, here's something I want you the first time I'm going to talk about it. If you have a loved one that you'd like to give a gift to that really is knock them off of their feet, is S&B Cleaning. S&B Cleaning Services, and write this number down, 256-454-4616. Sandra and that group when they come into your house to clean it, they don't leave anything uncovered, whether it's the bathrooms, the beds. If you want to give your wife a present, you want to give your wife an anniversary present, or you know, a veteran that lives by himself, or someone that needs the house cleaned real good, and they call deep cleaning. That means they get in there amongst everything that's thrown away. They clean your house, and they did mine. I give them a A+ if there's something higher, but they did a great job in my place, and I recommend them for no revenue from me. But I just want you to know that there's somebody out there that does that. Their prices are good, and they're on time. They do what they say they'll do, and they clean much more than I expected. And they're doing others. They're so highly recommended. I just want to share that along with you, because it's a great gift, and there's so many people that could use it. If you got a power chair that you don't need, I need a power chair. Folks that don't qualify for them, use them to go to the mailbox and things like that. Superior Hyundai is a sponsor of the show. They now have a classic Cadillac, so we're going to have George on here before long. We're going to talk about Hyundais and Cadillac. So if you go in there with a DD214, it'll give you $500 off of your new Hyundai. If you tell them you saw it on Veterans Issues, they'll give you another $500, and they ain't gonna stop at that. They ain't gonna give you but $1,000, but that's $1,000 you save just by watching on this show. So go by there and check them out. They got some great stuff. Wounded Warrior, Alabama. David Williams, that's out here in the lobby earlier. Wounded Warrior, Alabama @gmail.com. 256-458-2715. Last week, a lady's air conditioner went out. She was 90 years old. They went out there and put her air conditioner, central air conditioner in, and she was cooling within a few minutes from that. Only people I know in veterans organizations helping anybody. And I'm running out of time. I don't have a list to go over. I don't have a chance to go over all the list. I'll get them next week. But this salute this week is going out. And these salutes are real important. They cost a lot of money everywhere else. But this salute's going out to the Alan Ray Chafin Marine Corps League Detachment. And we'll see you next week on Veterans Issues. Salute.